More than an auction, Barrett-Jackson events have evolved from a small family car show into an automotive lifestyle event that attracts celebrities, star athletes, and car enthusiasts from all walks of life.
Yeah! Driving with speed.
The perfect fit for a city with a lifestyle like no other, Las Vegas. Barrett-Jackson has come to Las Vegas, and the site for this historic collaboration is the stunning Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino. Strap in as two lifestyles and one venue combine for a landmark automotive event. The inaugural Barrett-Jackson Collector Car Auction from Las Vegas starts now.
Here is something very special. This is an American art form. Here's the new owner. Whoa! That was history. And now rolling onto the block, lot 173.2. We're following the auction at barrett-jackson.com is a 1969 Chevy Nova Yenko Coupe Recreation.
Recreation is the key word to pay attention to here. This is when somebody takes a base model and they up it to an SS. They may swap a 6-cylinder or a small V8 for a big block. In this case, they've taken a garden variety Chevy Nova and turned it into one of those special Yenko edition Novas. Now, there's no harm in this as long as it's fully disclosed. And most experts can tell the difference. It's not too hard to ferret that stuff out. You just want to be honest with everybody about what you're looking at, and of course what you're bidding on, because the price between a real Yenko and a recreation like this is huge. Steve?
Sure. On this one here, you get curious. What was this car born as, you know? And the nice thing is that the first 3 digits of the VIN will tell us that. In the case of this one, we see the 114. Yup, it's a V8 car. If it was 113, it had been a 6-cylinder. Or believe it or not, the 111, yup, a 4-cylinder Nova. They made them. But this was a V8 car, which has been upgraded to a big block. No, I don't know really what engine it came with. You can't tell that without paperwork, but it's nice. I'm seeing a Y-end aluminum intake, square port heads, iron heads, but, you know, 427 going on here. Inside, we're looking at a 4-speed Muncie, 12-bolt rear axle, the torque thrust wheels. So it captures the feeling of a Yenko 427 Nova without actually being one. And that sets you free. You can drive this car and not have to lock it away.
Got an email at speedtv.com from Chris in New York asking, I noticed that cars there in Vegas are enjoying a long appearance on stage compared to Scottsdale. Is there a reason for this? Well, Chris, basically how long the car stays up there is up to the auctioneer. If he or she thinks there's more money in the room that can be had, they'll keep asking for it. If they decide that's about all we're going to get, then they lower the hammer and away we go. Of course, they're a long way, and a lot of things happen between the time a car rolls on stage and it rolls off again.
You know, sometimes what's lacking in a car makes it special. This one, of course, on the fender, there's no hole, no radio antenna mast. So, yup, radio delete. Inside, we're seeing the correct radio delete plate. To the right of where the steering column is, that horizontal plastic bezel. Yup, rear radio delete equipment on this Yenko tribute car. Nice touch.
Mark Geller looking around the room for the bidder assistance. Try subtle ways of applying a little pressure to the bidders, such as rolling it off like that. And brought down the hammer, $34,000. Here's the new owner. He'll sign his paperwork and arrange to have his new possession taken home, which you have to do within a certain time limit here at Barrett-Jackson, or any other auction for that matter, lest you run into storage fees or worse. Got an email from Ed Bausman, an auction member. When the car rolls to the auction block, the bidding will be closed. We'll decide our winner. There on the block is a 1960 Squarebird, a Ford Thunderbird convertible. We're at $45,000 on this, which would tie, as things stand, for our third highest seller of the day.
New paint on this one, Bob, as it sells for $46,000. Nice paint, new interior, good presentation.
We saw that gentleman in the mix earlier. It looks like he's bought himself a Thunderbird.
As that big old square bird rolls off, we'd like to
all the way up to $85,000. Here comes another Chevy. In fact, another Bel Air. In fact, another two-door hardtop. This one a 57.
If you ask Mario Andretti what his first car was, and one of the only cars that he says he really, really loved, and the one he'd most like to have back, guess what? 57 Chevy Bel Air hardtop, red with a white top, golden V8. Mario, here's your car. Hope you're watching, buddy.
Bet he'd like to have it back.
I'll bet he would.
One little notice detail is under the eyebrow in the headlights. The eyebrow, that was a Harley Earl touch, but there is a grill here. This is an air inlet, and it is the inlet for the heater system over on this side. I'm not sure if the one on the opposite side, which looks the same, is a dummy.
In fact, this setup right here was done to replace the cowl vents that were used in 55 and 56. And speaking of that kind of thing, although these cars have very different cowl lines, the same trunk lid fits 55, 6, and 7 Chevys, interchangeable.
Up to 35.
38, 100 bill, and wrap it up, roll it away. 39, 40, 40. And 43,
Hang on to your gavel there, John.
Give me more. Item 52, 52, 52, 52, 50. No. He's 50. Ask him 2. 50 would get 2. 50 would get 2. 50 would get 2. Yes or no? 50 would get 2. So $50,000, just $50,000.
$50,000 moves into a tie for 8 on the top sellers of the day.
That brings
Lot. Number 491 is a 1929 Ford Model A Custom Roadster.
in my opinion, one of the very nicest hot rods at this sale, and one of the nicest you'll see. It's a great style, a 29A V8. Now, it's an all-new car. It's built up from scratch from new parts, but it's got a real flathead motor. It's got the right chassis from SoCal Speed Shop, a Brookville steel body, those new style Halliburton wheels, but very, very period look, great colors. I like it.
One thing I'm liking about this car is we see a retro-looking flathead. Now, the guys at H&H Flathead in La Crescenta, California, own the rights to Barney Navarro's Empire, and what they've done is basically revived interest in the flathead. What we have here is a beautifully done flatty with the Navarro heads, and on top of this one is a Retrotech EFI system, which looks like a trio of Stromberg 97s, but it's actually electronic fuel injection. A lot of modern hiding in an antique skin. Beautifully done car.
It's a beautiful build. Let's take a look underneath. I'll bet it's just as good. Oh, no disappointment. And you'll notice that those maroon touches like on the drive shaft and rear axle there, well, that all matches the interior. This is a beautiful car, and you're not building it for this money, I promise.
I'm a little surprised that one of the bidders on this car is a young fellow whose father probably wasn't even born when the Model A was made. These cars, it just proves these cars have a timeless appeal to young and old.
Channel, the chassis cam. This is absolutely a gorgeous car, top, bottom. Look at the flathead in it. It is a gorgeous
already
car.
Already have 50, 51.
You couldn't build it for this.
Is that Clint back there? $50,000. Where are you at, Clint? $50,000, $52,000.
You know, again, folks, this is a hot
This one
rod
really
with
has
the
all the
styling of
period metaphors correct. I mean, we sometimes see these old cars with new style wheels and 80s style engines and this and that. Not here. This one, all of those late